three young fellows once went out of this country on a traveling expedition and arrived in another kingdom, where in the evening when the sun had disappeared behind the mountains, a shining globe was placed on an oak tree. By means of this, everything could very well be seen and distinguished, even though it was not so brilliant as the sun. The travelers stopped and asked a countryman who was traveling by,
Sir, you must tell us. What is that light?
Oh, that? It's just the moon.
Sir! What is a moon?
The mayor.
the mayor bought it for
3
$3 and fastened it to this oak tree. He has to pour oil into it daily and keep it clean so that it may always burn clearly. He receives $1 a week from them for doing it.
Gentlemen, I have an idea. Our world, our night, is darkened by the absence of light. We are going to take the moon, hang it in our own oak tree. It's just as big,
If not bigger.
if not bigger. And our darkness will be lit by the moon.
Why, if we retrieve it, we won't have to stumble in darkness.
Yeah, it's true. Do you have a plan?
I can climb it.
With that ladder. Brilliant. We're going to need a getaway plan. Ah, yes! I have a plan. You have a plan? We'll use a cart. Yes, that cart! I'll tell you what we need to do. We'll bring down the moon, place it in the cart, we cover it in a blanket. Yes, grab the blanket. We'll take it away from here. These people can buy another one. Gentlemen, we are going to steal the moon.
And so they did. The first brought a cart, the second a ladder, and the third climbed the tree. He cut down the moon, passed a rope through it, and slowly carried it down. When the shining ball lay in the cart, they covered it with a cloth so that no one might observe the theft. As they finished their journey, they conveyed it safely back into their own country, and then hung it on an oak tree of their own. Old and young rejoiced when the new lamp let its light shine over the whole land, and bedrooms and sitting rooms were filled with it. The three took care that the moon was provided with oil, cleaned the wick, and received their weekly thaler. But eventually, they became old men. And when one of them grew ill and saw that he was about to die, he appointed that 1/3 of the moon should, as his property, be laid in the grave with him. When he died, the mayor climbed up the tree and cut off 1/3 with head shears, and this was placed in his coffin. The light of the moon decreased, but still not visibly. And when the second died, the light diminished still, as a part was buried with him. When the third was borne to his grave, the old state of darkness recommenced. When, however, the pieces of the moon had united themselves together again in the world below, where darkness had always prevailed, it came to pass that the dead became restless and awoke from their sleep. They were astonished when they were able to see again. The moonlight was quite sufficient for them, for their eyes had become so weak that they could not have borne the brilliance of the sun. They rose up and were merry, and fell into their former ways of living. Some of them went to the play and dance. Others hastened to the public houses, where they asked for wine, got drunk with one another, and through their drunkenness, brawled, quarreled, and at last took up cudgels and belabored each other. This noise became greater and greater, and at last reached even up to heaven. St. Peter, who guards the gate of heaven, thought that the lower world had broken out in revolt against heaven. He then gathered together the heavenly troops, which are to drive back the evil one when he and his associates storm the abode of the blessed. As these, however, did not come, he went through the gate of heaven down into the world below. Seeing as no revolt was taking place, there he reduced the dead back to subjection, bade them to lie down in their graves again, and then took the moon away with him and hung it up in heaven.